And we're live.
This is how we're doing it. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the final live stream of Dungeon Tryouts.
As you can tell, we are all very tired.
And when we're tired, we get as unhinged as you can possibly get.
It's like on the one hand, there's about as much light as there was for our launch live stream, but it's a much more reasonable hour for us.
Yeah. We usually don't get up as early as I made us get up for the launch live. But hello and welcome to the Dungeon Tryouts Kickstarter Rap Party.
Yo!
Hello. So yeah, we are gathered here today to witness the end of the Kickstarter campaign. That's been a lot of fun.
To bury our Kickstarter.
Kickstarter campaign. It's been a ton of fun. This has been one of the wildest campaigns I think we've ever run. It's been incredible community come around this game, incredible collaborator list of people who've been pulling for us. And we're just excited to kind of ring in the end of the campaign. It's been a good time.
Yeah, I think we have a bunch of things that we had planned. I think we're still going to go through most of it as planned, but it's very fascinating. We've been asking various members of our team about who opened a cursed tomb today. Because today has been, given that Dungeon Tryouts literally is about zany quests and zany adventures, it feels like today was like all of that come to life, or this week come to life, because what are all the various things that's happened this week? It might have started with Eric. I think it started with Eric. It started with Eric when he went to go practice jujitsu, hurt his knee quite badly, to the point where I think next week we're gonna probably have to go take him to get an MRI appointment because we think something might have popped and gone down the ways in the knee. And then our artist Andy AC Stewart has fallen ill. And he was going to join us tonight. We're still not 100% sure whether he may not be able to fully join us or join us for just a little bit. So we're kind of on standby for that. Andy, please feel better. We miss you. We have 500 plus pieces of artwork that we need from you over the next year. So
after that, it's fine. But until then,
someone send Andy some potions. Zach, our graphic designer, ate something bad at dinner. I thought he's recovered, or at least he said he was alive.
He literally at like 9 minutes before we went live said, when I asked did anyone open a cursed tomb, because he was now getting sick too, he said, I lived. I'm assuming that tomb was separate. And then didn't show up, which is very alarming. But I think I see him in the green room right now, so I think he's. I think he did live.
He lived.
As far as we can tell.
Yes.
But Zach, give a wave when you're ready to come on, and we'll bring you up. Otherwise, I'll give you time to get sorted and back there.
And then Eric had like a suspicious bite on his thumb today that we're not quite sure where it came from. And then I kid you not, literally like 20 minutes before we went live, I started developing this rash on my shoulder that I currently have a bunch of ointment on and I'm hiding with my hair. But I was like, what's happening, guys? What's happening?
So physically, I'm fine for someone getting as little sleep as I've been getting. But my city is now having its like third wildfire, uncontrollable wildfire. And a bunch of them are like, there's a chance that I could get evacuated kind of distance, not super close, but I live in Halifax, Bayers Lake. They've been battling a fire for several days now, and then one started at Long Lake too. I think two of them started at Long Lake, so it's all very worrying. All right, I'm seeing a wave from Zach, so I'm gonna bring Zach up.
All right.
Hey,
he lives.
I'm in an Airbnb of a flooding city as opposed to fires. I'm in BC. Airbnb for a wedding for my cousin, so it's flooding here. It's dry there.
What we need to do is we need to get these cities together, because your problems could solve our problems, and then we wouldn't have any problems.
Like, we've really got all of our bases covered.
It's also incredibly ironic because usually, like, the Alberta side of Canada, for folks who aren't familiar with Canadian geography, is very, very dry, and usually is the one subject to wildfires. The East Coast, in contrast, is very, very wet. And it's been unprecedented in the last couple of years to have wildfires there. So climate chaos is real, folks. Do your part to reduce your environmental footprint.
We didn't used to always have wildfires. We've had them every year for many years now, but that has been a recent development too in the scheme of things. But this year we're actually not getting one because of the giant rainstorm that's been happening for the whole summer. So that's fine.
That's good. It's going to
It's
draw
really
attention
nice.
to a particularly topical
Yes.
Dungeon
Yes.
Tryouts card.
Yes, very, very important. Well, on to what everyone's here for. Obviously, we are the Story Engine team. We are the team behind the Story Engine deck of Worlds, Lore Masters deck. If you have gotten to know us through our main deck system, if you're joining us because you've heard of us from Dungeon Tryouts, obviously this is what this live stream is for. Dungeon Tryouts being something a little bit different than we're doing from the Story Engine team, where we have now created an awesome new party game that is going to officially come to you in about a couple of years because we're fully funded. Yay! In fact,
and PDFs in about a year.
PDFs about a year. I mean, the thing we should mention is because those of you who may have joined us for our launch stream, and obviously we finished our live stream before we fully funded, but we actually fully funded within the first day. So within 18 hours, we were fully funded. So thank you all for that. And over the last 31 days, we have, been unlocking stretch goals left, right, and center to the point where we released a few bonus ones as of, I think, yesterday or 2 days ago.
Like Tuesday, I think. So how many days is that? 3 days? What is...
Time is a funny thing.
What are days? I only speak in like hours on
it's actually gone to minutes now. It's now minutes. It's counting down minutes on the Kickstarter.
Oh, when they switched to hours earlier this week, I had weird feelings.
Yeah. Every one of those escalations gets a little more intense.
I mean, it seems you guys know this, but I was shocked on my first Kickstarter that I ran a couple of years ago when I couldn't edit my page anymore. So I had a new round of graphics to post once the Kickstarter campaign ended, and then it just got locked into like not those because the second the Kickstarter timer's done, you're not editing that page anymore.
Yeah, no, we did a final proofread today. Eric did a final pass, and we have our little list of checklist of graphics changes. We're going to make it 11:30 quietly in the background of the stream. So if at 11:30 exactly you see Eric is suddenly distracted, that's a good time to get all of your chat infractions done because his eyes will not be on the chat for that period.
I can multitask. I'm like a chat hawk.
Yeah.
I can't see in regular life, but if it's in a chat,
yeah.
I also really can't see in a chat very well, but that's not the point.
Not the point. Our chat hawk is here.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is one of those moments where for anyone in our audience, if you are ever looking at launching a Kickstarter, this is some tips for you. The page locks after the campaign ends. You won't be able to update anything on your main page. So if that's not something you are already aware of, make sure you take note right now. Especially if you have one live, so that you know that when the campaign ends, any final things you want to do to your page, now's the time. Crowdfunding knowledge for you for free. But for those of you in our audience, please always give a shout out to where you are in the world. If any of you are tuning in from the UK or Europe, I'd be so impressed right now because it would be
them's the wee hours of Saturday morning. There's no reason to be up that early or up that late.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're either way too early or like you got way too early on a weekend.
Yeah,
but we appreciate you.
I feel like 3 to 5:30 is that window of there's no reason you should be awake still or awake already.
Yeah,
still and already are both the wrong word to follow awake there. Let us know where you're tuning in from. I'm calling in from Halifax. Murky and Eric are Toronto, and Zach is normally Calgary, but like you say, coming to us live from Airbnb, the Republic of Airbnb.
Yeah.
Which is
actually, I will say all the Airbnbs here I think that I've stayed in are like family dwellings with the basement separated for Airbnb. It's not just like some douchebag who owns a billion properties. It's like how the site was originally founded, and that seems a little more sustainable to me.
Oh, that's nice. I like that.
That's a total. I've only done it twice in BC, and both times it's been this, and I have never seen that anywhere else anymore. I feel like everywhere else I stay in an Airbnb, it's just somebody's 13th property.
Yeah.
This feels a little more like it should be. It's annoying. I mean, there's footsteps over our head, but this feels like what you should be getting.
I was gonna say, actually, funnily enough, it looks a little bit like one corner of the basement apartment I had in North Vancouver for a year and a half.
It is one corner. I'm in my parents' bedroom because I'm sleeping on a couch in the living room because my whole family is gathered, which means I'm back to being 12 and not getting my own room. It's really nice.
So among the curses that we unleashed is the curse of Zach is 12 again. Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
And for those who have not met Zach before, by the way, so Zach joined us for the Not Safe for Work live stream live from Gen Con. He joined us for the rap party for Lore Master's deck. But Zach is a multi-talent, but primarily for us, we work with him as a graphic designer. Although he's done writing on Deck of Worlds, and he has done an illustration for and some writing now officially on Dungeon Tryouts, and helped out with the animation of the video as well. And introduced us to the animator who did that. So yeah, we are joined by Zach tonight, and we are going to be, we'll probably do a little bit of a walkthrough of the campaign, because for those of you who haven't gotten a chance to check everything out, we want to show you what's what. And then we'll be doing some live playing dungeon tryouts. To make sure that we could synchronize our decks properly, I basically created a spreadsheet of all of our like cards that I randomly allocated, including cards that are hidden in blacked out cells for draws. So we're gonna be playing with non-physical cards, but to show you a little bit of how the game flow works as we kind of count down the clock.
Yes. Although I think I'm gonna like hold cards in my hand to pretend that we're playing.
Oh, I like props, yeah.
Yeah, so that we could like have the vibe that we're actually like all playing, and somehow as we slide things out of screen, that it like magically is visible to everyone who's looking.
Yeah.
I will go get cards from a different game for the bit. I'll be right back.
do it. You gotta, yeah.
It's a little different bit. So yeah, and I guess like one other thing that we actually are gonna also do tonight, for the live stream is we also want to announce the winner of the contest that we had during the Kickstarter, where we kind of presented you with a hand of adventurers and a quest, and you had the chance to win an alpha copy of our deck, which is essentially this. It is a special copy that we printed for the purposes of the live stream, and live streams, and of course for Kickstarter, and for us to test ourselves and play test. So it has, some illustrations by Andy. I'm going to keep saying Andy, hoping it'll manifest him at some point, and hopefully it'll make him feel better.
And some without. So this is the early version.
Yes. And it'll give you a chance to actually have a copy of the alpha deck, and then you also get a Dungeon Tryouts Party Time t-shirt. So we'll announce the winner for that tonight. Thank you everyone who entered. And we're very delighted with the winning entry. It was interesting. I was even when I was playing it, and Eric hadn't even had a chance to watch the video, but he could hear the audio, and he was having a giggle. And you're like, oh, we know this is the one. This is one when just like the audio alone inspires a few giggles.
And it does it for you. Yeah,
so Peter, do you want to get us started on walking through our campaign journey and everything that is Dungeon Tryouts for those of us who want a refresher on what has happened the last month?
Yeah, let's do it. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna share my non-logged in window, so I'm not showing you all the portal.
Showing you the secret behind the scenes.
There we go. Okay, actually, I'm gonna log out of Kickstarter, I guess. It's not letting me show the separate tab that I have open.
I thought you can like tag away the left column googly bits.
Okay.
If you like look at the Kickstarter logo at the top and go to the left, there's like a little like vanishy tab thing you could click away.
Okay, let me try that then. So then we're not staring into infinity.
Yeah, infinity face. Okay. We will not forget infinity face. Oh, look, Andy's alive on in chat. Hey, Andy.
Hey, Andy.
Said he no voice. I don't know. There is a mime card.
We do have a mime card now.
Andy just exclusively is the mime card for the entirety of the live stream. Can you imagine?
Okay, here we go. We are going to share this.
Technology.
And ignore my unfulfilled survey. It's a long story.
Oh, I have one of those too.
Okay,
I collect
so
those.
Dungeon Tryouts, the party game of fantasy misadventure. That's our game. What are the chances? This is Dungeon Tryouts. We've been talking about it for a while, but yeah, as Murky mentioned, it's a bit of a pivot for us. It's a very silly comedy given dream game where you play as a adventuring agent for wannabe adventurers who are very much on the B list. They're very quirky, they're very unhireable, and your job is to get them hired for ridiculous fantasy quests. And that's what we set up our page to kind of explain and show people is our game here. I think especially of interest is some of the rules we'll actually just show you later on today, but we've got a little walk through the rules here. And then we get into some of my favorite stuff, which is our guests. We've had an incredible team of collaborators for this project. Since the launch day, we've actually added a 7th writer, Radek Ansek. But we've got Iffy Wadiway, who you might know from Actually Dimension 20, and also his stand-up comedy. We've got Danielle Radford, who you might know from Dimension 20, as well as Honest Trailers and a number of other shows that she's written for and appeared on. We got Jonathan Sims, who is the voice and creator of the Magnus Archives and also a half of MacGuffin and Company. We got Hussein Panju, a stand-up comedian from Toronto, who's also the mind and the pen behind the webcomic High Comedic Value. Sasha Sienna, who is Jonathan Sims' writing partner and co-founder of MacGuffin and Company, also of Jane Ostentatious, the Jane Austen podcast. We've got Alina Pete, creator of Were Geek, also my co-cast member of the live stream Dungeons and Dragons Adventures of the Trash Heroes on Twitch. And then I mentioned Radek Ansek, who's an actor and comedian who came recommended to us from Becca Scott. Put us in touch with him, and we're excited to be working with him on the writing. And then we've got a huge and actually growing list of guest artists. Who wants to walk through the guest artists?
Eric. Oh no, Eric is being busy. Eric is being busy. I will attempt to walk us through the guest artists in a very efficient order while making sure everyone gets spotlighted accordingly. Such a stacked, amazing group of guest artists who have joined our campaign. And so far, every single guest card has been unlocked, save one. So we're going to see if we can get to there before midnight. We have Sarah Anderson of Sarah's Scribbles, which I know my sister has fangirled throughout the entire campaign and has hounded me nonstop on whether it's unlocked or not and was following it with bated breath. Shen of Shen Comics, Rob Den Blaker from Cyanide and Happiness, Nick Selleck from The Awkward Yeti, Heart and Brain, Megan McKay, Doodle for Food and Good Boy Guild, Dingo Doodles. Maybe I'll just say the names a little bit fast. Dingo Doodles of Dingo Doodles and Electric Bunny, Matthew J. Wills of Swords Comic, John Kovalik of Dork Tower, Alina Pete, as we mentioned, of Were Geek, Larda Souza from Looking for Group and Least I Could Do, Che Crawford, The Immortal Think Tank. I'm going to say it's pronounced Super D, right?
Yes,
despite
Super
the dollar sign. Okay, this is like the elite speak, Super D. Rosebud's Life with Karami, Pen and Ink. Annalise Mack of Dimension 20 and Hit Point Press. Our very own Zach Schuster, who we have here, of Thrud. Dennis A. from Dimension 20 and Webtoon. Peter Tchaikovsky, I think we know who that is, right?
Who's that guy? What the heck?
Who is that guy? Peter Tchaikovsky of Rock, Paper, Cynic. Elizabeth, is it pronounced Pitch? Pick?
I think she's German, but I don't actually know.
Elizabeth Pick. I'm going to go with that based on my linguistics understanding. And Jonathan Kuntz of War and Peas. And Emery, I love you, Emery. If you're watching this, I'm going to apologize. I never asked how to pronounce your last name despite the entire time we hung out at Gen Con. This is where we all learned that Muroki's very much not European. Emery Jelsberg is how I'm going to go for it. I am so sorry, Emery. Please forgive me. If you're watching this, of Hit Point Press. Amazing, super talented, absolutely superstar artist. Emery also did join us as a new guest artist that we grew in the last few days. And we actually already unlocked his card. So amazing. And such a cool piece of artwork that he gave to us. So that's our amazing roster of guest artists, everyone. And if you keep scrolling down our page, you'll actually see some of the artists have already contributed their art, so you can get some sneak peeks of what the guest art booster pack is going to look like.
Yeah, we got this is Sarah Scribbles, Shen, and the Awkward Yeti here. Then we've got Dingo Doodles, Swords Comic, and Super D. So yeah, that's a witch who constantly has to take her cat to the vet, a tavern keeper who kept seeing adventurers meet in their tavern and thought it looked fun, a bee person who keeps vomiting honey. I recorded some like vertical video shorts of introducing these characters for TikTok and YouTube, which was a lot of fun. And I tried to little voice act little lines for the characters, and the bee person vomiting honey was by far both the hardest and the most fun. But I'm really, really happy with why am I like this is I think the sentence that he says, while also trying to like buzz and speak through vomit. And I'm really, really proud of the final result. If you'd like to really like give your ear canals like gunking, check us out on Story Engine Deck on YouTube.
I'm not gonna lie, that bee person is vaguely horrifying. And like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what I expected from the person who draws like a sentient heart and brain all the time, but somehow the heart and brain look cute most of the time.
Yeah, no, Nick, so heart and brain is like one lane of the creative work that Nick can do. Nick is very versatile, actually. And getting to see the way he like pulled out those stops for this portrait, where it still looks like him, like it's definitely his line and style and energy, but like so different in terms of like the subject matter and delivery. That was a really cool one to see come in. A really cool one to see come in.
Yeah. And then, of course, we have an owl person who needs to chill out with the prolonged eye contact, a half-elf who's always writing embarrassing poetry. And if you look really closely, you notice the half-elf is literally half an elf, half human. A rogue who yells yoink whenever they pick a pocket, which makes them a very, very effective rogue. A lizard person who keeps licking his freaky gecko eyeballs. And a janitor who specializes in cleaning dungeons. I feel like that person in the dungeon tester would actually get along really, really well from our dungeon tester pins. Yeah, and the witch who keeps asking about making children into soup. Actually, it's fun because I haven't seen some of these guest cards yet myself in their final form. So I'm actually really excited to see these today.
And we could choose to add we had another set of deliveries. So we've got Zach's, Emery's, and Rob's locked and loaded now as well. I just saw, and we could possibly share, the like very beginnings of the sketch work from John Kovalik, who actually, in addition to his credit on Dork Tower, he's also the artist of Munchkin and Apples to Apples. So he sent me the sketch art for a fighter who does not know how to wield the epic level weapon that they are carrying. And he did a really good job with the sketch.
That like reminds me of when you have like a Pokemon level that's too high for you to be allowed to train in the game, and then it just disobeys you the entire time.
It's the weapon has exactly those vibes. Actually, I won't spoil the illustration, but we can possibly pull the sketch up later.
It's almost like it's a ring that influences you in ways that you're not prepared for.
Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, if you guys have got inspired by any of the cards that we mentioned or I've shown here, if you guys want to share your weirdest D&D or TTRPG character that you've ever played, feel free to drop that in the chat as well. And if we decide to keep some of these cards secret, some of the ones that are being turned in as we speak, always be sure to follow us on socials. You can find us on just about every single platform at Story Engine Deck, which is our user handle. And actually, we got a brand new TikTok, so maybe this is like the quickest time to share a bit of love there. If you guys are TikTokers, we got a TikTok because we're cool like that.
We got a TikTok. We're talking, so be sure to follow us there. I love how we like joined the young people. Well, it's not even the young people's social media anymore, but we just joined it and then instantly made ourselves sound the oldest. We're ticking and we're talking and we're hipping and we're hopping.
Yeah, Zach, hurry up, Zach. We need to bring your youth in here.
You're 12, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
Please tell us the hip, trendy things to say.
No, you're nailing it. No notes.
Actually, that would be the hip young thing to say to make sure the elder millennials look as foolish as possible.
Yeah, I was gonna say you don't tell people what they're doing wrong. You just you don't stop somebody making a mistake.
Listen,
Yeah.
if you see someone digging a grave, that's free digging in a free grave. Like, why would you stop them?
As long as we can put the tomb that we opened back in there, and
Yes.
that way Andy will instantly heal himself because absolutely. If we open the grave, we can throw the tomb that we opened back in, or at least the mummy that we unleashed. Something along those lines. I feel like there's a card in there. I feel like after tonight, there's going to be a new card that's going to be about like
a cursed tomb.
A cursed tomb that, like Pandora's box that says "Do not open," but we choose to anyway, or some sort of nonsense.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
That could be a quest. That could definitely be a quest.
Yeah. So let's see. As we are closing in on the finish line, it just moved again. We are sitting at $207,000, 493. Amazing. Thank you so much, everyone who's been pledging us to date as we tick down to the final minutes of the Kickstarter. I want to maybe give a quick shout out to like the pledges we're looking at. We're hoping to unlock before the end of the night. We only have a few. We're closing in on the Too Silly to Print PDF expansion, which is a PDF of all the cards with jokes that would just somehow, apparently they are just too silly for the main game. I don't even know what crosses that threshold.
Oh, there's been a few.
There's a very particular kind of silly. This is the thing that people don't always understand is silly. Silly is actually very refined.
We're refined comedians.
We're refined silly.
We're posh comedians.
You haven't even seen our true power yet, is what we're saying.
Like if you have too much silly, then it's like eating something that's too sweet.
Yes. So one example, which is also it was something that I think I pitched live during the Not Safe for Work live stream that I do not think can go in the game for a number of reasons. Is an Ouroboros sucking its own dick.
The whole time since it's so funny.
But that one is a good choice for Too Silly to Print, I think. There's a number of reasons why it can't go in the main deck, and it's not actually the graphicness of the act, because we could get around that by really having it in deep there, and then the serpent's eyes are watering, and you could find a way to not show it. That's not the issue. The issue is actually that the card isn't very versatile for using to pair with different prompts. But all this to say, there are definitely cards that are too silly for the main deck, and we're gonna have a little rescue home for them if we can hit that before midnight.
Yeah, we're gonna adopt penguins and adopt rejected cards. But speaking of penguins, when we get to the oh my goodness, numbers, tired girl in numbers, 220,000 mark, we will adopt 10 more penguins, bringing us to 60 endangered seabirds that we will rescue through Sandcob, which is an amazing organization in South Africa that works on seabird conservation. Because without human intervention, I learned that apparently South African penguins could go extinct by 2035. I didn't even know that. I only learned that recently when I was learning more about the charity. I myself adopted a penguin for Eric 3 years ago on our anniversary. That's how I first discovered the charity.
His name is Ewick.
Ewick.
And I now use that as my video game name whenever I have to guess. But it's like if I'm playing Zelda or something, my character is now Ewick.
Yes. And then I got one a year or two later, and I named it Milwaukee. So I think we will probably invent one that's called Piwu, and then Zach, it's gonna be Za or Wa.
I was wondering how you do Zach, because all the sounds are actually pretty easy to say, but Za is pretty good. Za is pretty good.
I was my little cousin who's at this wedding with us also. When he was little, he couldn't say Zach, and I was Gak, which became one of my old email handles.
Gak?
So, that's good.
Gak, G-A-K.
Nickelodeon substance.
Oh,
or are you too young for that?
No, I know. You unlocked I've suppressed so many of the weird things we saw on television in the early days.
The synapses just automatically started connecting intensely.
And it green ooze leaked through my brain for the first time in many, many years.
There we go. Green ooze Zach is coming as Gak. At 230, the War and Peace guest card. And then at 240, we will develop some character sheets for all your silly adventurers, or for 3 silly adventurers voted on by you. So we can literally turn the unicorn who likes busting kneecaps into a legit D&D character that you can put into your campaign. How about that?
How about that?
I like how I immediately went to that one. So clearly my vote is for the unicorn.
I think we can find some great candidates.
Yes. Also, to our chat, if you guys have questions for us, like, feel free to throw it into the chat. We're more like, that's, part of this live stream. I know we are going to do a little bit of gameplay. We got lots of things to share with you. But if you guys have questions for us, whether it's about the creative process, about what's next, etc., etc. I like how I said the what's next, and I'm usually the shepherd who's like, let's not talk about what's next. But here we go. Moroki's tired. She's letting things slip. Ask whatever you want in the chat, and Andy's with us too. So while he's here, of course, feel free to drop some notes for him too, because he has a lot of, I'm sure, expertise and thoughts about how he's going to draw Infinity Face, which is his nice, unique character that came during our launch day. I'm also seeing a whole bunch of too silly suggestions, I think, from what I can see in the chat. Is that what I'm seeing?
You are. I believe these are lyrics to the Alanis Morissette hit Ironic.
I wouldn't know that. I wouldn't know that. I like Alanis Morissette, but I wouldn't be that. I'm not that in tune. Eric's like a pop culture, subtle.
I used to be. I don't know what the kids watch these days.
I actually saw today, it was on the Cheerful Nihilism Instagram. Someone had, it was it must have been some sort of Reddit thread-ish thing, but it was someone saying there was this really incredible line that was called we deserve a soft epilogue, my love, or something. And it was today I decided to find the source of where I have heard this phrase quoted, because it was such a beautiful quote, and I wanted to find out the poet who wrote it, and it turns out it was Captain America fan fiction. And then a few people wrote several other, they were here are these amazing quotes that we heard, and they came from LOTR, smut fiction, etc., etc. So sometimes too silly and very poignant things come from very unlikely sources.
You know what? Yeah, fan fiction is an art form unto itself.
And it's, those are all writers in training. Yes.
Yeah.
Have we covered everything that we wanted to cover for the Kickstarter, Peter and team?
There's more we can cover, but I think let's break it up with some gameplay. Let's do a couple rounds, and then we can pop back in and do a review of the rewards and stuff like that, and some of the playtest reviews. But I think that we covered a lot of stuff already.
You mentioned the penguin card.
We've not yet, I don't think. Or we sort of talked about the rescue, but not the card.
Oh yeah, I guess I think I alluded to that, and then I kind of deviated away very, very fast. As we have unlocked more penguin adoptions, it actually has a real life consequences for the game, because for every penguin we adopt, we add them to our big jobs expansion card. And so to date, I believe we are adding 60 penguins.
The card will have 60 penguins, and then we've added 50 because the base card was 10.
Yes, base card was 10, and we've added 50 penguins since then. And it is your mission to actually count the cards and make sure there are indeed 50 penguins on the card. It's actually, they're all freaking adorable. I've been getting really obsessed with discovering. I actually lay out all the different cards because Andy has actually drawn them in sequential growth as we've gotten more in, and I lay them out on a screen where I can scroll back and forth, so I can just watch them appear and then disappear and then appear again. I feel like that's a GIF in the making.
Oh yeah, we had, I think we even have them laid out to Gifify, where they build up. I think Zach may have even laid that out, if I remember right.
I think we talked about it and I didn't have time.
Oh, okay. Well, then we don't, but we talked about it. It was an idea we had one time. What was I going to say? No, it's gone. I think Andy has drawn 40 so far. So he has already is going to have, no, or maybe he's drawn 50 so far.
No, he's drawn 70. I think 70 is where he has tapped out so far.
Okay. It takes him 12 hours for each additional penguin. Yeah.
Yeah, what you don't know is when you zoom in on the black dot in the distance with a microscope, what you'll see is tiny penguin just drawn with a hairbrush brush. It's a single hairbrush.
Each one is actually a stamp that he hand carves and then stamps it onto the page.
He also logs the wood himself, which is really impressive. Yeah, so we're really doing, and this is why, again, we switched from a reforestation charity to we're actively cutting down trees to carve wood stamps to stamp penguins onto every card individually.
Hard pivot for sure.
Yeah.
Oh God. It's funny because I know all of us are probably being extra silly and making a little bit of a fool of ourselves tonight because we're a little bit tired and delirious. And I might have had an energy drink at 9 p.m., which was actually a bad idea, folks. Do not recommend. But do you want to hear something that was actually more silly and embarrassing that any of us could possibly ever do on this live stream? So,
let's do it.
Yeah. So you guys get to learn a little bit about the behind the scenes workings of the story engine. As we grow as a little company, sometimes we have to do important company business things like talk to an HR company. So I was talking with an organization that specializes in things like HR and payroll, and they were basically talking about the cool services and platforms and technology that is available to small businesses like us. And the guy, the manager guy who was initiated the call, followed me on LinkedIn and had read, I made a post talking about how, I think it's really great about that we at the Story Engine are adopting penguins and doing seabird conservation. I think it's actually a really great thing that this charity that I personally cared so much about is now a company initiative. And so guy goes congratulations on all the cool penguins you're adopting. It looks like you've adopted 40 penguins. The woman on the call who was there to also talk about the services, she goes, oh my God, you've adopted 40 penguins. We would love to come and visit your office in Toronto so that we can meet all these penguins and maybe shoot some videos. I'm like, you can look at the pictures of the penguins. She legitimately thought we had adopted physical penguins.
Oh, wow.
Into our home. And then we had 40 penguins, just hanging around our office.
It's a Canadian stereotype, I guess.
Yeah.
The penguins don't even live here.
Yeah, I know. That's why it's
in our
it's
igloos.
stereotype.
I've got at least 40 penguins in my igloo. What are you guys talking about?
Eric, are stereotypes supposed to be correct? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, what the hell, man?
They're a Toronto-based company. Anyways, I was just, I think I look when I explained this to her, and when her manager was explaining to her that we are adopting the way World Wildlife Fund adopts for conservation, you could see she just wanted to crawl into a hole and never come back out again. It was I was I'm just gonna keep neutral face through all of this. But to be fair, I think in Japan there is a penguin that I don't remember if it escaped from a zoo. Something happened in transportation, but this penguin was found on a beach in Japan in this village, and they took care of him. And now he just lives in this home. And apparently every day he wears a little backpack and just walks into town to the fish market, where they proceed to give him some fish, and then he just takes it home. And then his little family feeds him, which is adorable.
Adopting a penguin is a cute movie-like story. Adopting 40 penguins would be an insane thing to do.
I've never seen it, but there is a famous kids book / movie starring Jim Carrey called Mr. Popper's Penguins, isn't there?
And I can't imagine that went well for him. At least for the middle part of the movie.
It was I think it was when I was studying in Northern Ireland, there was a story about a zoo in Scotland. I can't remember where. I want to say Glasgow or something, but there was a zoo in Scotland where when they brought in these penguins for an exhibit, they decided it would be a cool thing to let them free roam. Sometimes in some zoos you see peacocks free roam. They decided to do this with penguins. And some kids on a school trip tried to take one home, and they didn't realize this until the school bus was halfway back to the school that a penguin started walking up the aisle of the bus. The teacher was like, oh no! We have
dear.
There's only 10 baby penguins and the 2 parents in Mr. Popper's Penguins. That's a manageable amount of penguins. 40 is right out, though. 40 would be crazy. A dozen, you could handle in our office. In our big Story Engine office.
There's a point of diminishing returns on flightless birds in domestic spaces.
We actually had a very similar conversation on our opening live stream where basically Andy was like, I would love to meet the adventure that's good for 40 penguins, but not any more than that, where it's I can recommend this adventure from Dungeon Tryouts for requests with 10 penguins, but 60, that's just downright irresponsible.
Yes. Well, speaking of penguins, maybe we will draw one for our live plays because I guess it's time to do a little bit of play. And
let's do it.
Since you're not physically on the chat with on the live stream chat with us, feel free to throw in interview questions and judgment, and also similar chat. You are welcome to help interview us as we all defend the quest that we're about to do. So why don't you tell us how this special digital version of Dungeon Tryouts goes, Peter?
Yeah, so each of you has a tab in a Google spreadsheet, which is really fun. And by that I mean, yes, we all have cards. Zach, can I see your cards, please?
Oh, yes.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, Zach has the like collector's edition, which we didn't make available to anyone except Zach, so that's why his look extra cool.
Yeah, like the rainbow chromed edition.
So we each have 7 cards in our hand. In the spreadsheet, you will see that you have 7 cards. That's your starting hand. When you play a card or at the end of a round, you can basically like cut and move the card to your discard section of the spreadsheet. And then down below, that blacked out section has your next cards. You'll just draw them one at a time. You can either set the cell to be white in the background so you can see the text, or just copy the text upwards, however you want to move it. Either way, I wanted to reveal or to maintain some of the mystery of drawing a card that you don't know what it is.
We literally have the app version done now, Peter.
What? I didn't even hear about the stretch goal, let alone that we passed it.
We don't even need it. We have the app version already done it in the form of a Google spreadsheet. It's great.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Yeah.
So I'll just use these.
Yeah. So we'll play that way. There is one tab that is the quests. We're going to roll a 20-sided die, which I will grab right now, to figure out which quest it'll be. We'll still have a quest giver for each round, mostly so that person can read the quest. And I think they'll probably still do a little bit of air traffic control for monitoring the questions during their quest. They're also the person who has final say over how their quest is interpreted. So if we have questions as agents about the quest that we're pitching for, we're allowed to ask before we pitch our character.
We could make Andy the quest giver for this round. We can just tell him what the quest is, and he can be the quest giver and judge us 3, 4.
Yeah, just there's gonna be a delay on the chat, and then also like for someone to read the quest for everyone to hear.
Fair. Okay, so someone. Well, I guess it would be just 3 of us pitching then, and one of us is the quest giver.
Yeah, like 3 of us pitching, one of us the quest giver, but we'll have that person is basically just conducting the chat, and they can read Andy's questions and all that. Like I would still love for Andy to be as involved as possible.
And everyone else, obviously, not just Andy, but we're giving special treatment to Andy because poor Andy was supposed to join us and is now bedridden because we opened the cursed tomb.
Guest chat of honor. He said that he currently sounds like Winnie the Pooh, which I kind of want to hear, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you're making it very compelling to bring you on to the chat, Andy. I want to know what
Let's
Winnie
drag a sick man out of bed. Do Winnie the Pooh for us. Do Winnie the Pooh. Say oh bother. Say oh bother, Andy.
If you got a sore throat, you need honey anyway.
Oh
bother. He said it. He said the line. One thing I'll mention is the person who starts as the quest giver with Dungeon Tryouts is the person who journeyed the farthest to be here today, which I think is Zach, who is currently the farthest from home, or traveled the farthest to be here. So Zach, you could go ahead and either roll a digitally d20, or I can roll a d20 for you.
You can roll it for me, so I don't have to click and clack.
Cool. All right, so if you go to the quest tab and read quest number 9.
9. Okay. So capture an animated troll doll full of murderous intent.
Okay.
I'm uncomfortable. Okay. Capture a murderous troll doll.
I'll put that in the chat for everyone.
Oops. I'm looking at the fake hand that I have.
That's one reason I'm dubious of the fake. Oh, I'm going to pull all my cards facing the audience so I can't see them, and then I won't get distracted by them. So these are not my cards.
Oh, here,
let me think. Capture a murderous, an animated troll doll full of
murderous intent.
Capture a animated troll.
No killing. I need it for reasons.
I have a question about this quest. I understand that this troll doll is full of murderous intent. What is its murderous ability like?
I'm picturing a nice floating off the ground, head spinning kind of psychic troll doll here.
Okay.
Standard fare, troll doll, murder. Like your
Cool.
eyes just start to bleed. Troll doll. You're familiar.
Yeah. I've definitely bled from my eyes because of troll dolls before. That's actually how all of us got sick on the same day. Was troll doll curse. Okay, I've got some interesting choices here.
Okay,
Okay, I'm gonna raise your hand when you've played your card. Okay, I am playing my card. Cool. Zach, you can call on, Zach, you can call on anyone in any order to ask questions, and also we'll keep an eye on the chat for questions that come in for the adventurers. Okay, when you're introducing your character players, read your full character out loud because no one else can see the card prompt that you have.
All right, I'll start with Maroki.
I am representing a pitchfork-wielding peasant who got separated from the rest of their angry mob.
All right. And why do you think they have the chops to deal with this troll doll here?
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. As part of an angry mob wielding a pitchfork, the only mission that any sort of mob wielding pitchforks has, which is to destroy the supernatural and prevent them from invading their home. And when you are separated from your mob, you are now literally backed into a corner. And when you have a pitchfork, all you're going to do is fight. So you're going to absolutely obliterate that troll.
So I do need it captured. I do need it alive, not lacerated by pitchfork.
Did you say captured, alive, or dead, though?
I did say capture, and I said alive for a
Okay,
reason.
well, that's fine. It's a troll doll, so usually they're pretty small. So if you do like the pitchfork thing where you dramatically stab it, you'll like pin around its little body against like the wall or bale of hay or whatever they have you.
You did just tell us that this mob and the individual of it is going to settle for nothing less than quote destroying the supernatural. So what's your plan for calling your client off before they go too far?
Yeah, I'm really nervous about my special little boy.
Oh,
I mean, one, it's a doll, so the chances of it handling damage is quite high. And the other thing is that we've all seen in most fiction that when the pitchfork-wielding peasants go and stab at things, they always do the comedic pin around the body anyway, so it's almost guaranteed to happen. It's a trope.
It's a collector's item, and I really do want it to be in mint condition, despite the murderous
that's the children's version. The horror version is somebody's getting stabbed with that pitchfork.
I might need to hear from
what genre are we in here?
Can you bring my boy home?
So did you say Eric next?
It did, yeah.
He's asking for Eric to bring his boy home. He's not going to do it, by the way.
My agent is a dwarf who can grow a new foot of beard every 30 seconds. And the argument here is that we basically need a means of capture, and I come with one built in. You just like let that beard grow, then you take it, and then you're basically just making a little beard rope net web nest arrangement. And it's a small troll doll, and we're just gonna like bundle them up in there. Can't move. If you've got enough hair, it's like I know like one strand you can break, but if you've got like a foot every 30 seconds, we've got plenty to deal with here. And this isn't like fine like elf hair. This is like thick dwarf beard hair. This stuff is basically just like steel cable. I
think you're hyperbolizing.
Maybe just a little bit, but it's not the best cared for beard, is what I'm getting at. It's really like tangled, matted, and it's like makes it great for like holding things in and getting it stuck, whether it's food or small trolls.
I think there's
super gross, but I see the vision.
Yeah, I think there's some risk of choking the troll doll to death. Then
it's not. It doesn't have lungs. It's a troll doll.
Hey, we just talked about whether the pitchfork was going to just like hurt and
well, it wasn't.
You can still get stabbed.
It was more, have you destroyed the integrity of the doll itself?
You can destroy it. Okay, well, what if the beard? Remember, troll dolls have that little like shaping, wiry hair. So what if your hair ended up like dreadlocking into the troll doll's hair and just rips all the hair off in the process? You just talked about how
troll's still getting home.
A great point from AC there. I feel like the dwarf and the troll can bond over their hair-related eccentricity. Um,
But he,
all right.
but Andy also said a full mob would destroy the troll doll, but just one peasant is restrained.
I mean, are we talking about restraint, or are we talking about just less effective at still trying to do the destroying, though? Because I think now your hope is that you can argue that your peasant is going to be bad for the job. Like that's the new angle.
Let's hear from Peter, and then we can do closing remarks.
Closing remarks, Your Honor. My client is a clown who is disturbingly depressing to look at. I would like to pitch you a strange buddy comedy pitch here. Imagine the only thing more disturbing to look at than a depressed clown is a depressed clown who starts bleeding from their eyes. I think that your troll doll, your boy, is going to do his usual hijinks and shenanigans, his like bid for attention. You can't make this clown sadder. You can't. In fact, the blood will just replace the tears. But like either way, there's fluid leaking from this guy's eyes. I think that at some point the troll doll is going to be like, oh, this is like as sad as something can get. My work here is done. The clown who frequently works with props, dolls, etc., as part of their work, gonna pick him up, gonna take him home. And you know he's not the fastest moving clown. But he'll get there. He'll get your boy home. And I think that if anything, they might actually be unlikely friends. Like, you know when you see like one of those viral videos from the dodo where like a golden retriever rescues a duck it found? I think it's gonna be one of those things, except it's a murderous troll doll and a bloody-eyed depressed clown.
But
Paint a heartwarming picture for sure.
But the doll is trying to murder, not make your clown sadder.
Oh yeah, no, he would.
No, but he's doing. But
troll doll food.
As
Does
described,
the murder have an off switch? Does like murderous? It's like what's the less steady state of murderous intent?
Well, it was described to me that the specific form of the murder is bleeding from the eyes, which again, for a sad clown in white makeup, is going to be like I think a visual effect that is going to have an impact on the doll, and also again going to play very differently on the clown's face. Like it's a very different canvas for that to happen on. So I think that literally the troll doll is going to see that its work here is kind of the clown is already dead inside. At this point, like making it dead on the outside is like almost redundant.
But it's kind of. I was gonna say that's
almost
kind of
redundant. Sounds expensive for my agency here.
If he's dead on the outside, he's still not coming back with the doll.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to give the point to the beard thing. It's gross but effective, like real beards.
Yay.
I'm gonna mark that one green on my spreadsheet to know that it won.
All right, so everybody draw a card. I'm gonna move my clown to my discards, and I'm going to pull from my draw pile, and then I'm gonna set the card I just drew to a white background. Oh, this is definitely one that started as an Eric prompt. Nice. Cool.
Now I'm curious what it is.
Okay, so now play would go clockwise, which I think is going to be from Zach to me as the quest giver.
Yeah, that makes sense. If at least for my screen.
Sure.
Okay. Cool. So I will go ahead and roll the d20 here. It is cocked.
Honor the cock.
Honor the cock. That is a 14 on the reroll. Okay, our quest today. Sneak silently through a castle patrolled by suits of armor that fall apart loudly and easily. I will put that in the chat.
I'm doing it again where I'm looking at my wrong cards.
This is one of 2 suits of armor prompts in the game for the quests, because I really like both of them. And there's a chance one of them will have to get cut, but as of right now, they play very differently, and I like them for very different reasons, so I'm hoping they may stay. So raise your hand when you have picked your hero.
I'm going to assume you saw me, so I don't stand here awkwardly holding my hand up.
And Zach is good to go. All right, we'll go clockwise here. I think what I'm going to have you each do is read your card first, and then I'll start the interviews. So please, Eric first.
My candidate is a cat person who's the size of a house cat.
Okay, thank you. That's I can see why it's a good candidate here. Maroki.
I have decided to represent my client, who is a juice mascot who can only enter buildings by crashing through walls.
Okay. All right. Amazing.
Wow.
And then Zach.
Mine is a gnome who insists on carrying literally every item they find.
So I feel like two of you have gone for no chance of success, but high chance of comedy. High chance of jinx, and one of you has gone like full stealth build. So let's start with the stealth build here.
I mean, I feel like it kind of makes the case for itself. Cats naturally very stealthy, very silent predators. You've even seen those little cat videos where somebody sets up like a million like red Solo cups on the floor, and then like the cat will like slowly pick their way across because they can actually do that.
Yes,
It's
I've
like
been on the internet, Eric. Yes.
Yes, we've seen cat videos on the and so also it's just like the most deft and nimble character, and also very small, not going to bump into things, can get through spaces that other people can't. Really just ideal for this job in pretty much every way.
Yeah, I have truly no questions. I guess the only thing is, do you see the fact that it's that they are bipedal being any kind of an issue here? Because they don't have the full, cat four-paw balance, which was pretty heavy featured
they don't have the full like four paws necessarily, but they are still incredibly agile and well balanced. That tail really does wonders for balancing you out. Still have deft little soft like feet paws, and just all in all a quiet little creature. Can easily sneak up on you and stab you in the back if you're not careful.
Okay. Well, now pivoting to something considerably louder and more obtrusive. Instead of something house cat sized, something smashed through a house sized, I'd like to hear from the juice mascot.
Well, sometimes the best form of silence is by masking it with other sound. So we're all worried about crashing, falling apart suits of armor, which is what I guess like the person who's going to be looking for the sound is going to be looking out for. Well, if you're smashing through a wall, you're not going to be hearing that anymore. And you know what? If those suits of armor are already so imbalanced and so delicate, and there's such a small chance of success, why waste all this time sneaking, only making it 1 foot in before you inevitably trip the wire of the suit of armor to alert everyone in the castle, when you can just go through it at top speed and just accomplish your mission a lot more efficiently? I think that's high productivity. In fact, if those of you watched Pocahontas 2, not Pocahontas, but Disney's Pocahontas 2, when John Ralph and John Smith compete for Pocahontas' attention by fighting a bunch of men on a stairwell, John Ralph was doing his little sword fighting thing and fighting one person at a time. And then John Smith took a door barricade and just pushed everyone off the stairs. It was much more efficient.
Would you say that John Smith successfully sneaked silently through that castle, or would you say that he pummeled a bunch of men with a door? If you were going to say which one of those is most accurate to what
happened. The goal
happened.
is getting through the castle. And you know what? When you take
I believe the word of the text is sneaks silently through a castle.
Also, the court would like to caution Eric for abusing his power as the chat moderator to answer questions from the chat and to curry favor.
I am happy to answer that on stream. I just didn't want to interrupt somebody else while they were speaking. I stand by that answer fully, and I'm happy to say it out loud. Cats can be little hellions, but they usually do that when they're trying to be jerks.
Do you know what, though? Here's the other thing. It says the juice mascot can only enter buildings by crashing through walls, but no one actually ever said that he was going to end up tripping any of the suits of armor while crashing through a wall.
Yeah, I didn't say he was going to trip any suits. That's not my concern in terms of the noise happening here. It's the demolishing of the castle wall by a creature that essentially is impacting it with the force of a cannonball. Which I'm also...
I rest my case.
I'm mildly concerned that your juice mascot's body, which, let's be honest, we're all picturing the Kool-Aid man, but without the Kool-Aid logo because we don't want to get sued in our brains. But I'm actually worried about the integrity of his glass body, which was designed to smash through, like, suburban
Offsets.
American drywall and
Drywall.
not through stone castle foundation. So I have concerns for your client in this quest as well. If we
He's
are being
the
honest.
hard juice mascot.
Explain hard juice.
Mike's
Wait,
harder
hard
lemonade.
juice.
Oh,
Harder
Like-
Kool-Aid.
like okay, got it. Like Mike's hard lemonade. Got it. Okay,
Harder Kool-Aid.
harder Kool-Aid. Okay, that's a
Harder
good
fun.
answer. Actually, I'm no longer concerned about your client's survival. That is good.
Just all
Um,
the other things.
just every other part of this pitch. You're a front runner for the kudos, which we will explain. Afterwards. So let's please hear from Zach, from this gnome who insists on carrying literally every item they find.
Yeah, so my competitor raised an interesting point. Stealth missions do not always go as planned. So as much as a cat could do some good sneaking, or a Kool-Aid man allegedly could do some good charging recklessly through the stealth mission, you've played stealth games and stuff. You try your hardest to sneak around, and sometimes things go bad, and your guy gets captured or alerted the guards. My gnome, these guards are said to shatter into pieces, which sounds loud, bad. My gnome will pick up every item before they hit the ground. He's so used to carrying every item he finds, he will just deftly pick them. If anything were to go wrong, he's like the ultimate contingency of just, ooh, catch that before it hits the ground. No noise, no alerted guards. He can keep on sneaking. I think he's your guy. It's just a small little gnome, nice and stealthy, but he actually has a backup plan instead of just paws that would just bat around armor and clank way too loud.
Okay, so you're in with a shot here, but your shot is I'd like you to act out for me. Your best imitation of like you've killed the monster in Skyrim, and before its body hits the ground, you hit X, take all, and loot the inventory. I want you to sell me that on how your client can do that. And this is a visual gag, please.
So I am 6'6". I'm a large human male. We're talking about a gnome here. So picture everything. I'm actually, you know what? I can
Also,
do this.
Zach,
of the
we
power
know
of
that
the
you're
technology.
12, and just so that you're old enough now that you should stop saying you're 6 and 6, you can just say you're 12. You know the numbers up to
No,
12.
no, I'm just going to back up so I look smaller. So this, I'm now a gnome with little arms. Just like that.
Okay, that was a very good
Yeah.
visual bit. That was a very
Thank
good
you.
visual bit.
Here, I'll
Um,
enhance. Zoom in.
zoom in, enhance, zoom in, enhance. That okay? So that's that is a surprise. I thought you were going for the joke point, and you've now made a serious argument. Can I hear a rebuttal from the cat, who was a front runner and is still a very strong contender here?
Near as I can tell, this gnome does not have a bag of holding. It's like it's a plan to carry every single suit of armor and every single piece that he knocks over. At a certain point, there's only so many hands,
It's a
and
backup.
also, I mean, like he might stop before it hits the floor. But let's be real: if you're like knocking over a suit of armor, it's making a lot of noise just on the way down from being destabilized.
So
I pictured them popping apart. It sounded comedic and loud, and I think I could circumvent that. I think my guy's your best shot.
I only have one thing to say to all of this.
Is it? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna give definitely the inspiration kudos is going to go to Maroki. That was by far the funniest pitch. I am gonna give this one to Zach, but specifically with the assist from Andy. Andy citing Spider-Man in his legal argument, I think, was very compelling because that was your hands, because you were doing the short hands bit, which was very visually funny. It did make me wonder about the reach and speed, but the Tobey Maguire, obviously played by real human gnome, Tobey Maguire played Spider-Man. It's possible. So I'm gonna give this point to Zach, but a point of inspiration to Maroki, which means
I'm
that
actually shocked that Zach came around with
I
this
knew
one.
that there was an argument to be made for the gnome.
I think that what got me from Zach, I don't think he's actually the best one for the case, but he's the one who did the most moving me from absolute disbelief to begrudging credibility.
I knew that was my competition from the beginning.
But Maroki has
Wow.
a point. Maroki has a point right now because Maroki is the person who has had the most kudos for the longest. So you guys are all tied at 1, 1, and 1. The way kudos works, by the way, is if somebody makes you laugh during their pitch, but you don't think that they are the best person for the job in terms of like this character would do it, you can give them a kudos, which I go back and forth frequently on whether or not it should be called a point of inspiration or whether or not that's too Dungeons and Dragonsy. Let me know in the chat if you have thoughts on if we should call it kudos or inspiration. Either way, whoever, if you have inspiration and you have the most inspiration, you have a bonus point as long as that is true. You lose that point if you no longer have the most inspiration. If someone ties you for the most inspiration, you still keep the point until they pass you. So it's Catan longest road rules.
See, I think like kudos is more like, yeah, and inspiration makes me feel like inspired. Like
Well, it was a very inspired pitch. It was a very inspired pitch. It inspired me.
I like Andy, who's like very into the Kool-Aid man, who's like, I think space teleportation juice mascot is the best.
Can target a wall.
But the challenge is that, as he stated earlier, it operates according to the Zard location, best framed by the camera. Who's going to sneak the camera in? My guy is the gnome, actually, for that. The gnome is the one who can carry all the equipment to get the camera in the spot to be able to load the juice mascot in. But we have a bit of a chicken egg scenario for who gets the camera there to be able to stealth apparate. So, but that was a fun round. That was my turn. So I think the quest giver is going to shift to Eric, and I think after this round, oh yeah, sorry, not the Kool-Aid man. We're talking about the juice mascot.
No, yeah, the juice mascot.
And I'd like to pitch a name for the juice mascot. Now that we know that his strategy is to, or the first pitch was for him to come crashing in and just aggro all of the guards. I think we should call him Leroy Juicens. That is a reference that will instantly age me. But for all of you fans of still around but very old MMORPGs, that's a little joke about one viral internet video that doesn't matter anymore.
Well, they actually turned him into a card in Hearthstone, I think.
Oh, wow.
I think he became a character.
Well, our version bursts through the wall and yells, "Fair use!" Andy, you're a very funny man, Andy. You're a treasure. All right, let's get another round going, and then we'll probably take a break to just check on how the Kickstarter is doing.
You mean you want refreshing incessantly, like some of us are over here?
Well, I forgot it existed while we played. Sorry.
Oh, wow, what a fun, interesting game that actually does its job of bringing you into...
Well, I'm just undiagnosed. It's unrelated. Game's all right.
Okay, and but we have inspired, we like to inspired as a variant of inspiration point without being an exact copy, plus being a good adjective in general. So that was an inspired pitch. Could be part of the in-game language. All right, so Eric, why don't you go ahead and roll a d20, or I can roll for you.
I'm gonna have to ask you to roll that d20.
No worries. Eric, can you please read quest number 12?
Journey to the center of a meteorite crater that gives off the bad kind of radiation.
Oh shoot, I haven't redrawn yet. I want to see if my winning pitch is going to show up this time.
Okay. So that is the prompt right there on screen. I've been jumping between tabs to do the little banner, so I need a second to remember what my cards were.
Journey to the center of a meteorite crater that gives off the bad kind of radiation.
As opposed to the good kind of radiation that gives you superpowers. It's the bad kind that gives you evil superpowers.
Okay, I think I've got mine.
I think I've got mine too.
I'm in trouble here.
Yeah, mine's not gonna be my best pitch. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that for free.
All right, I'll lock this in.
All right, okay. I'm just gonna go clockwise, and we'll read them out, and then I'll get into the questions.
So I'm pitching a paladin who's always standing heroically in a beam of sunlight.
Okay.
Okay. And Peter?
Am I clockwise or Zach clockwise?
Yeah, Zach's clockwise.
Oh, I don't know.
Clockwise.
Zach.
If we're doing it clockwise,
yeah.
I have a shirk person who dies if they stop moving forward.
Oh, now that's interesting.
He didn't say he has to come back.
That's true, actually. That's true.
I jumped in the gun a little bit. Peter, what are...
I have an alchemist who doesn't label their potions.
All right. I guess we'll start with, I'll go in reverse order. What is this alchemist doing?
So he's gonna die, or he's gonna find the potion that gives him resistance to radiation. And when we put him in there, and he now knows what the score is, he's just gonna drink everything he's got on him. And I think, hopefully, him being very motivated to not die, he's gonna get to that essentially rad away from Fallout, the fantasy version of that. The thing that deals with the radiation. And if he doesn't, maybe he'll get a potion of invincibility. Maybe he'll just heal some HP. But none of the bad potions are really going to be worse than the radiation. So he's kind of my Suicide Squad.
So
Suicide Squad of one.
I get this. I am kind of like, what's this? Let's just say he drinks the poison, Cusco's poison, the poison just for Cusco.
Yeah.
Before
distinctly a possibility. Poison. So to tell you what, let's assign here. I got a D20. So let's put it up to the dice. I'm going to say on a nat 20, how many rounds does it take to get to the center of the meteorite?
Let's say it's a pretty big meteorite. What's like a move action is what, like 30 feet?
Well, if you're just booking 60. It, you can do 60. Yeah.
Okay, so we can do 60. I would say it's at least like, let's say it's a 200-foot meteorite to the center.
Okay, so I'm going to give him 3 rounds to either live or die. And if, to either find the right potion. On a nat 20, he finds the right potion. On a 1, he instantly dies. He drinks the poison, that poison. And on a you know what? Those are the only options. And then he dies after 3 turns. And so we're going to see if I can hit a nat 20 in 3 rolls. That's the game here. All right, here we go. That's a 6. It's a 15. That's a nat 1. I'm not kidding.
It was great to see you.
Thank you so much. Do you validate corpses, or do I have to deal with this?
You actually have whoever's your pallbearer has to do it for you.
Oh god. All right. Well,
just like leave the stamp on you in your shirt pocket, and they'll take care of it at the front desk.
Okay. Thank you. This is great. Who's up next?
That'd be me if we were doing reverse order. So I've got my shark person, my thick-skinned shark person, who dies if they stop moving forward. So he's incentivized to get to the middle of that meteorite, find your thing, hopefully pull a Yui that doesn't count as not going forward, and get back. But like I said, thick skin,
the other side.
I was gonna say
shark.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can just keep cruising. What are we doing here at this meteor? Do you just want someone to go through it? Because I think I'm your guy then.
All right. So and I think you already said that you were pointing out the mission was not to come back. All right. I mean, I guess it's pretty straightforward. How does your shark person do outside of water?
Oh, medium. Yeah, like adequate.
Just adequate.
Whatever you're picturing, it's a notch worse than that.
So I have a concern about the shark person.
I mean, outside of the whole concept.
Dead right now.
So I would like to take what I sometimes call the hinder action. So my concern is that part of what has gone well for sharks is that they kind of haven't evolved for millions of years. They kind of like figured out this is the way to be, and then haven't needed to change. We're not going to be exposing that shark to really rapid gene mutation and radiation. Which is something I just think sharks aren't really built for. I think like the machinery is already perfect. Just making random changes is going to be even worse for a shark where there's just no room for improvement. Do you have any concerns about your shark kind of like jumping the shark of evolution, so to speak?
I would say, first of all, sharks plus mutation was the backbone of cartoons growing up. I just think that's like worst case scenario. We have a cooler shark would be my. I've seen enough Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to know that radiation plus animals is always fantastic.
I feel like there's a lot of other radiation stories that we just don't hear about because history is written by the winners.
Well, they don't appear on Saturday morning TV.
And my shark is a winner.
All right.
A shark who only moves forward does have real "I'm a winner" energy, like toxic, like.
Yep. All right. I guess. Well, tell me about the paladin.
I think this one is pretty obvious at this point. There's actually twofold benefits to your paladin. One, as someone who can always seek out a beam of sunlight, he will always be able to stand out of harm's way of the radiation while journeying to the center of the meteorite, because he's always going to find the one light. It's going to be like that whole thing about plants. Like, they know where the sun is. They're going to find it even if there's one smidgen in the dark. And then secondly, this paladin has been exposing himself to UV rays for many, many years. It's like Rasputin. He's basically like exposed himself to low-grade radiation. So if on the off chance he gets whacked like by a little bit of meteorite bad radiation, it's fine. It's just like a more intense sunburn on the way down.
So I would at least add that radiation doesn't really work like darkness. You can have radiation in full sunlight.
He's always standing around. That doesn't sound like an efficient use of your journeying time if you're a quest giver. He stands around, he's always standing. That's not a ringing endorsement for a journey type adventurer, I would say.
That's it. I do want the paladin to do it just because I want a paladin who's like standing heroically and then like they start to bleed out their intestines from their butthole and like their like white cape just starts to like stain. Like, I want to see this paladin die from radiation poisoning, I guess.
That you want to make, but you didn't make, is that like it's a cleansing ray of sunshine, but I don't think I can give you credit for that.
Well, you know what? Sometimes you just have to know things, and you clearly already do. So,
the sun's not magic; rocks are magic.
You know what? You're clearly an expert more on the paladin than I am, which is what makes you such a phenomenal quest giver.
Truthfully, the fact that you don't know your client very well makes me doubt your integrity as an agent.
I killed my client in the first 3 minutes of this pitch.
I
didn't see my shark swim away with this one, but
it makes you a good expert at picking your quests, your adventures for your quest.
All right, I think I have to go with the shark. I will give kudos to the alchemist.
Oh, hey.
You will just like pin it to your chest and you can be buried with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say thank you. That'll be a comfort to his children.
Because really, that was a fantastic shot, and that outcome could not possibly have been funnier.
It was. I couldn't have asked for a better time than that one.
You know what? I was doing important things like taking care of our Kickstarter, so I let my paladin speak for himself.
Speaking of which, we are down. Sorry, we are down to the last basically 10 minutes now. 11 to be precise.
Let's take a little break from gameplay.
13 on my clock. Well, Kickstarter's wrong because it says 11:47 on my clock.
Yeah, let me. I will get the share window back up. We can take another look. We'll also play the winning. Do we want to play the winning adventure pitch?
We should definitely do that. And I also should get the bottle of bubbly that I reserved just for this occasion. No sabering this time, but just a good old happy proper pop. But we
I'll swing a broadsword around on my screen so it looks like they're timed together.
Oh yeah, okay. We'll have to time it. You'll have to like swing it off screen. Wait, in like this direction, or oh no, you have to swing it now downward.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. We'll do some screen magic. But for those of you who don't understand what we're talking about, when we finished our last crowdfunding campaign 2 years ago, Lore Masters deck, I decided to saber a bottle of sparkling wine live on camera for everyone inside my condo, and taught and gave everyone some really safe instructions on how to properly saber a bottle of sparkling. Because you can do it.
Instructions or probably don't.
Anyone can do it. It's very safe. You just need to know how to do it. Oh, and he's gonna go outside to bang pots and pans. I love that. Yes. We're gonna see.
Happy New Year.
And we're gonna have a sick man crawling out in a Winnie the Pooh voice. Oh yeah. Oh Baba. Oh honey. Or something like that. I did a really poor job.
I'm not sure you've seen Winnie the Pooh. I'm not convinced.
Look, it's been many years. Also, very few people can truly embody the voice that is Winnie.
Jim Cummings is like he's got a voice that is very hard to imitate. And it's one of those things where kind of like Farnsworth's voice from Futurama. It's a voice where it's so familiar and specific that I feel like especially like I think white men have this like confidence that they're going to be able to pull it off, and will launch into it. And then I've seen so many people then bail on it. And by that I mean myself. I've definitely been like, I can do Farnsworth, and then like 2 words in, been like, oh god, how do we ripcord out of this, baby?
See, that's really good.
Sounds just
See,
like
Andy
him.
nailed
It's like
that.
he's in the room.
I mean, at the risk of making fun of my own people, so many years ago, actually, over 10 years ago, my god. Yeah, I think it was 2012. I went to Transformers Con because I'm a huge Transformers nerd. And they had this opportunity to do like a live script read on stage with several of the voice actors, and they basically filled in the gap characters with audience members, and you had to go up and audition. And there's definitely a few character voices where you could tell people also thought that they could be this character until they walked up on stage and either the nerves got the best of them or they realized they never really tried that voice. And mics change their voice as well. And when those words exited their mouth, they were like almost just basically screaming into the mic, versus like being any sort of the character at all. So it's a thing. But like it does anyway, it's fine. I think actually talking about performing and all that kind of stuff, I think maybe this is a good time, especially before we ring in midnight. We should announce the winner of the adventure contest that we put on. So once again, basically the premise was that there was a quest that you had to complete, and I believe the quest we picked was you have to cross a city with feral dogs that you shouldn't, but you really want to pet them. A little bit of paraphrasing there from me, but that is the gist of the quest. You were given a hand of 7 adventurers, so you were basically playing it as if you're playing Dungeon Tryouts, and you had to create a video representing your adventurer that you were pitching towards the quest. And our winner is...
I was going to pull the quest thing up. Hold on.
Okay, it's okay. Okay, we'll re-announce the quest. We'll do it properly.
Keep drumming.
You've been summoned to embark on this quest.
Here we go. This was the hand.
The quest. Cross an ancient... You can tell that my eyesight's poor. Cross an ancient city overrun by feral dogs you know you shouldn't pet, but you're going to try anyway. And that's your hand.
And then the winner was... Do you know if the winner... Do they want to be identified by their handle or by their name?
I'm going to go by their handle because that's what they put in the submission form as how do you want us to refer to you by.
Okay, awesome. Just before we set it publicly on video. So then the winner is Kirby Durg. Kirby Durg put together this wonderful pitch video, which we will play for you right now.
So, who's our next candidate? And your qualifications are?
Well, I am a bard, but I also do crafts and construction, and I always have glitter handy. I'm asking you why you are the best candidate to go adventuring through an abandoned city. I'm off to see the city.
Are you aware it's full of feral dogs?
We could call him Tiger, but there's no bite in him, Tiger.
Why did you send me this applicant?
I know. But she thinks she's a Disney princess, so she waived the right to hazard pay. It could save you some money. One short day in the ancient dog city.
One short day in the ancient dog city is also the number of times playing this game that I have resorted to trying to win over the quest giver by basically saying, like, my guy's disposable. Like, don't worry about if they live or not. I feel that as someone, I've resorted to that part of the pitch a number of times.
Do we have to put that into the rules? It's like you can offer your quest as a sacrifice, but you actually,
yeah, but you lose like a 0.5 or 0.5. So not everyone. But yes, so congratulations, Kirby Durg. You win a copy of the alpha deck. Hopefully, one that is a little less manhandled by us, because we definitely have put our hands on testing these many a time. And as well, and that will send to you sometime in the next couple of weeks once the campaign is over. And then the t-shirt, we will contact you for your t-shirt size, and that will come when we fulfill the rest of the project. So many congrats. It was so lovely because when we contacted them about winning, they were so excited that it was actually like their first video that they've really ever made and sent it to us. So super huge kudos, since we're throwing out kudos out there. Super huge kudos to you for doing that, because I know sometimes it like seems easy. You see people like making videos all the time. I know all of us here have made really silly videos over the many years of us doing Story Engine, and we do these live streams, but it's actually really intimidating. Like I was a professional actor for 10 years, and I still say like I still get nervous doing stuff and self-conscious doing stuff for camera. It's not an easy thing to do, to kind of put yourself out there like that. And you brought out these great characters, you brought out this great song, like it was fantastic. So huge congrats to you. Yay!
A point of inspiration.
And it is like one of the things we like about this game is, I think it's somewhere on the story page, is that the one introverted kid will turn into a little goblin and
An improv
within 15 minutes of starting to play.
Yeah.
It's like, if you always wanted your child to become a theater nerd, now is the time to make them a theater nerd.
It's like Archer voice. Do you want theater kids? Because this is how you get
theater kids. Yeah. Truly.
Yes. Well,
It's not too late to change that to be the slogan up top there. We still have.
You still have 2 minutes to go.
I'm pretty sure that only Focus tests well with theater kids.
I'm gonna do a refresh because I think. Oh no, it's really saying 2 minutes. My computer clock is saying it's 4 minutes to midnight. Oh, but it's 11:59 that it ends technically. So, wow,
yeah,
look at that.
It's very curious. Like, yeah, apparently Kickstarter.
Any Iron Maiden fans, I guess.
What? Oh yeah,
2
minutes.
2
minutes to midnight. Yes, and I guess Kickstarter is very exact that it ends at 11:59. I guess we should have done like August 16th at 12 a.m.
I didn't want to get confused by my nightmare that I had when I was picking the time was that I was gonna pick the wrong day because the date would flip, and I was like, no, the last day is the day that it's gonna end on, and I'm just gonna make it like that, and then I won't have to think about it or like triple check it or suddenly
every time I put a date in one of our like emails, it's always at 11:59 p.m.
Can you imagine that like we like didn't flip, like we did it and then we're like talking about wrapping and then we realized it ended like tomorrow night.
Doing seconds.
Yeah. Speaking of the seconds countdown, Eric, did you do our little checklist in the background?
Yeah. I'm looking at the really quickly at the checklist. I believe we've done all the things that needed to be done, and if not, then we forever hold our peace.
Okay. Oh, and I'm gonna hide our little side.
Yeah, quick. What were we gonna update? What was the slogan we're gonna update on the front of the page right now?
Do you want theater kids? This is how you get theater kids. I'm gonna write that down for like that could be a hook that we try out at some point in a video.
Yes. Okay. Wait. Are we gonna wait? Are you grabbing a sword to swing?
Oh yeah. Okay. Let me grab a sword.
I might not be able to open this. So, in the world of sparkling wine, folks, you're actually supposed to open the bottle quietly, but depending on how much control we have in the celebration. But you know what? There was a fancy master Somali guy who once said, "Opening a popping cork is the sound of joy, and sometimes you should just embrace the joy." So maybe the joy is what we're going to embrace tonight. So hold on, I'm going to hold this up like this,
and I'm going to try and chop downwards.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah,
and this is real champagne, guys. I pulled out real champagne for this. Okay, I'm holding the cork with 15 seconds left.
10,
Great.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yay! Chop, 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 chop. Hey, we sabered it.
Yay! Oh my god, it was so weird. When I popped, I could see the confetti blowing up on my screen, and I genuinely thought the wine was starting to spray everywhere, even though I could. It's like my eyes knew it was confetti, but then it like made weird connections.
For sure, we'd be getting a sexy champagne shower there, but
yeah.
I was definitely in the splash zone.
You know, I feel
Yeah.
like that's the not safe for work expansion card in there somewhere.
A champagne mascot.
Honestly,
a champagne mascot who always champagne
version of it.
showers
It's
everyone.
It's like somebody who just wants a champagne shower after winning the championship. like when football
Yeah.
players
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
when the
It can be your
football
card art.
players-
Just sexy champagne covered Eric.
Yeah.
A gladiator who only wants champagne showers or something, who only bathes in champagne. Well, I will virtually pour for you, Peter, over here.
Can I have some of mine?
And then I'll pour down for Zach down here.
wait.
We're missing other side, Zach. Other
Other
side.
side.
Their
There,
side.
wait, there we
Yeah,
go.
there.
Thank you.
Everybody knows that champagne is best served in a water bottle.
Yeah.
With EPA laden water bottle.
Oh yeah.
Cheers.
That's the specific terroir. Yeah. Well, gang, thank you for a wonderful campaign. This was a ton of fun. It was a whirlwind, and it was a whirlwind before the campaign too. Like, I feel like every single week there was something big happening for basically like 3.5 months. And I think we still put on a really wonderful show and a really cool campaign. Got some amazing guests and goals in there, some really cool graphics, some fun art, some good creative. Yeah, just thanks for all your work, folks. It was a ton of fun.
I think it's really interesting. At this, I joined the Story Engine full time with the launch of Lore Masters deck.
Like literally that week.
Barely that week. But it's interesting in these 2 years alone how much our little company has grown.
Yeah.
And with that, obviously comes with a lot of responsibilities. And so, I think I think for all of us who kind of work in indie games and small businesses, when we launch a Kickstarter, or crowdfunding campaign, it's like everything we give to it. And it's usually kind of the whole next big thing. But now it's like Dungeon Tryouts was not only our next big thing, but we still have this beast called the Story Engine that we literally have to keep the engine going as well. And it's been a really fascinating learning experience trying to juggling all those balls and making that work. And of course we did Gen Con, North America's largest tabletop RPG convention, amidst all of it as well. Like, how insane is that? Yeah, 2,717 backers bringing this project to life, closing in at $208,224. Maybe, and you know what? For maybe those of you who are secretly on the live stream, you guys get to learn the little trick that we might have for you as well with regards to crowdfunding. Yes, no, maybe, or you just have to check the page to find out.
Oh, we can share they're talking about the stretch goal thing.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think we share that. I think we can. I think whatever parts of the plan they're final, go ahead and share those. I'm on board.
All right. Well, so here's a couple things. For those of you who maybe had to replay the live stream later or something, and you go, "Oh my God, I missed the campaign. I can't believe that I didn't back it. Shite, what's going on?" Don't worry, there will be future chances to pledge. We are switching over to Kickstarter. Actually has this, I guess, new. I don't think it's like super new, but new-ish thing that they've implemented in the last few years called late pledges, where folks can pledge later on, usually at a few dollars more than the original campaign. If that's something you want to get behind, you can still check out our page, and we'll flip it all over. And I think it actually automatically flips over. And then in a few months, we will eventually launch something called Pledge Manager. So for those of you who have backed the campaign, this is actually something you want to keep an eye out for, and we will keep you posted with our updates once all of us have gotten a little bit of rest. But essentially it is what you go on to update all your shipping information, what regions you are, and also if you want to add more items to your campaign because you decide you too want a super cool snazzy party time t-shirt and maybe you didn't get it in your original pledge, that's the time for you to add it. And for those of you who want to back the project afterwards, much later on in the process, Pledge Manager is almost like a little bit of a pre-order shop, and you'll get a chance to go into a little bit of shopping there. And if you guys are sad that we didn't get a chance to unlock some of our stretch goals, because I know we were very close to our too silly to unlock stretch goals, and maybe we'll want to adopt more penguins, we will keep counting all those additional late pledges, and as we keep raising them, we will unlock those for you. How about that?
Yay!
Yay!
I also really love the idea that if we don't unlock it, the Too Silly for Print expansion also becomes like too silly to have even just put it on the internet. Like, there's something about that that's actually really funny to me.
These are right out. Like, not these.
Yeah. Even the internet said no, and you've seen what they'll say yes to.
You voted with your wallets, and you said, "Please don't."
What's gonna happen is a few months from now, some sneaky version gets like leaked to Reddit or something. It's like, guys, we found it.
They're all just snakes sucking their own dicks. It's 100 cards of snakes sucking their own dicks.
I didn't know you could draw this so many different ways.
Yeah.
That just
what you doing for the next couple months?
One of our really, really horrible April Fool's jokes in the making. But it'll be like the most unfamily friendly April Fool's joke we will have ever done.
Now that I've twice referenced this, I should clarify just once out loud. Dungeon Tryouts is an all ages game. The main deck is an all ages game. All the cards are going to be PG to PG-13 at most appropriate. How you choose to take those cards and what you do with them when you argue them can go to unhinged places, but the cards themselves are all like the prompts are all kid appropriate. That said, because all of us are filthy adults except for Zach, who's 12, our own sense of humor ranges farther than that. Any jokes that are dirty are going in the not safe for work expansion. But my apologies for on what may be a stream that at some point someone is watching with their child. I will try to remember that we're now sharing a family friendly game, and that's the thing I gotta be more.
The percentage of jokes that we make when talking about the game versus like the percentage of like what actually ends up in the game, it's like not safe for work is like disproportionate in terms of like where our minds go, but it's actually like a quite small percentage of the total cards.
The other thing that I was gonna say is that I'm pretty sure I was like 7 or 8 when we started doing the Pen 15 Club gag on fellow classmates. So we all knew what a penis was at a very young age. It is fine. It's a snake dick. Like what are those anyways? They're probably the most G-rated dicks of all the dicks that we could ever look at. Other than me saying it a million times on screen. I like Andy saying he has 100 penguins in his house. Don't worry, Andy, we'll get those penguins out of your house. And
you may have to slaughter 30 of them. But
I was gonna say that the penguins we're rescuing, we're actually rescuing from Andy. To be really clear here.
Yeah, maybe we'll send the HR company to Andy's house. We'll submit an HR violation of penguins.
Yeah. Well, so the way we left the game, I believe it was tied 1-1-1 between the three of you, with me with 0 points.
I had 2.
You
I
had
had 2 of those bad boys.
I don't think I got any.
You have a kudos point.
Kudos.
You have a kudos point.
But I tied with you.
You got there. You got to 1 first, so you have the point.
I'm a gnome and shark person.
I'd have to get to 2 kudos to steal the kudos bonus point.
Oh, okay.
So, oh, right, because the shark got you the second point. Okay, so I was going to say we could do a tiebreaker round, but do we want to just do a final round to try and create a tie? one more for the road.
I mean, I do, mostly because I didn't get a chance to give out a quest, and I want to give out a quest.
Okay, then let's close it out with a Maroki as the quest giver. Do you want to roll your own die, or shall I roll for you?
My dice is far away, and I have fancy new dice that I'm too scared to roll because I want them to stay precious and perfect forever.
Oh no, you gotta roll those suckers. Break them in. That's why I get all my dice pre-rolled. That's a 10, which is I think a roll we haven't had yet.
Yep,
so why don't you go ahead and roll at quest 10? Okay.
Defeat a maniacal villain who has a monologuing problem.
That's a good final boss for this stream.
Yeah.
All I can constantly hear is that one Pixar movie, Invincibles.
The Incredibles.
The Incredibles. And the villain's just like, now look at me, I am monologuing. So how self-aware is his monologuing problem? It's like he knows. It's like, hello, my name is Dr. McEvil, and I have a monologuing problem.
Is he aware of his audience at all when he's monologuing, or does he completely tune out what the audience is doing? Like, if he had a heckler, or if he had someone doing something weird and distracting, for example, do you think that would slow him down?
I believe this villain likes monologuing at the heroes.
Okay.
So it's not the
Great.
ones that turn away and engage in some like angsty backstory. It's the ones that stare at you when you're like hanging on the edge of the cliff, kind of like Scar when he's grabbing Mufasa. But instead of just saying "Long live the king," it'd be like "Long live the king," and I'm gonna go and mess Simba up so good. I'm gonna tell Simba that I'm his real father, and you're never gonna get. By the time he's done, like the entire herd has run away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
My guy, I'm locked in.
All right, locked and loaded.
Oh, I'm really torn between two people. All right.
Eric,
I'm good.
you're good. Okay. I guess I'll go in clockwise and go with Zach first.
All right. So my card is a monk who learned martial arts from YouTube, and I've got a pitch for it.
All right, Peter.
I have got a snake person who keeps swallowing rodents whole without breaking eye contact.
Eric.
I am a bard who seems convinced they're auditioning for a reality TV show.
Okay. Zach was very wanting to pitch, so go ahead, Zach.
All right. So my monk he's learned martial arts from YouTube, which, as you know, as somebody who's familiar with YouTube, it means an endless deluge of chattering from the moron on your screen. So I'm thinking this will put my monk into like the kill zone. Like maybe there are better martial artists out there, but just to hear somebody nattering at him will put him in the kung fu flow state required to just lay an ass whooping on this villain. I think he'll hear the monologue and it'll just like spark like the zone, you know.
But isn't like the YouTube zone where you just like stop and sit there and do nothing as you absorb the like text until it's over?
Oh no, this is like a follow along program, like, and then I didn't expect to be pantomiming so many things today on screen. I can do it while tiny if that helps.
Does it help if I'm small and in the background?
But doesn't typically a YouTube monologue give you kind of like hoorah, uplifting things to inspire you to get into the kill zone? What would happen if the
irritates me
monologue is nothing
immensely.
but denigrating stuff?
I think just hearing people prattle on makes me want to do kung fu at them.
But that's you. How about your client?
Oh, similar.
It feels like the agent.
Some would
wants to
say
take
that I too learned all of my martial arts from YouTube.
It's a really good channel. You should like and subscribe. I'll post the link. I'll post the link in the chat.
Has your clients / you? I'm starting to think that you are your clients. Have ever been in a fight at all?
Like,
just
what
ever
kind
been
of
in a
fight?
fight? Like ever had to do any martial art in a real
yeah,
situation?
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm convinced for sure.
I like how Jack starts saying, "Don't forget the YouTube ads that pop up."
Actually, that makes me so angry. I do want to do kung fu when ads pop up.
All right. The snake man who doesn't want to break eye contact while eating rodents. Why would you defeat the villain monologuing?
I'm going to defeat him emotionally, and I'm not just going to tell you how. I'm going to show you how. I'd like you to please monologue at me as a villain who's looking me in the eyes, by the way. You said that. You said that he looks at you while he does it. I'd like you to monologue at me, please, and do your best.
Do you have a rodent off screen, Peter? What are you about to do?
Just go ahead. Go ahead.
You will never.
He's going to be right up our ass for this.
Reptile man. It doesn't look like you are anything but hungry at all points. I don't even know. What, you're clearly
break
not
eye contact. Eye contact break.
I'm actually kind of offended right now that you seem to be way more obsessed with eating than you are in defeating me. That doesn't make you a really good rival of mine. I don't like when my arch enemies ignore me. Why are you ignoring me? You're so
Is that
Ouroboros
sucking at something?
So my premise here is that my client, who I guess is me at this point, I guess we're in for a penny and for a pound and for a pound of rats, just gonna like again, Brooke, you're a trained performer. Imagine someone in the audience just maintaining eye contact during your monologue while they eat live prey. Like snacking is bad enough. Someone snacking in the theater is bad enough. Eye contact eating live prey while you're trying to like explain something that they clearly don't give a shit about. Like that is soul breaking emotional defeat amounts of power. Like that's a power move. Also, you're also a high stakes negotiator. Can you imagine if in the middle of a high stakes negotiation you pulled out a live rat and swallowed it without looking away? That person would do whatever terms you named afterwards. We're gonna this guy's gonna be no problem. Defeat doesn't mean kill. Defeat doesn't mean kill.
I mean, the mark of a good actor / negotiator is that you're unfazed by things like that, though.
But we found out he needs their attention. I cleared that up ahead of time. Otherwise, I would have picked my other guy. I had another guy.
If somebody's making direct eye contact with me, I know I have their attention.
That's the thing that's so insulting is he's making direct eye contact and clearly also entirely somewhere else. In fact, what he's doing with the eye contact is making you pay attention to him. And I will quote the monologue from earlier. I'll quote the villain. Why are you ignoring me? Why are you ignoring me?
Yeah, you're forgetting the maniacal part of the villain, which means that he's probably going to kill you out of anger at some point, and you're too distracted eating your rat to actually do anything useful.
No, not eating my rats. Gathering my strength. So I'm building up a strength reserve for the coming fight. But also breaking my opponent emotionally beforehand. I personally think he's just going to break down. I think he monologues because he doesn't know how to fight. I think that's why he's got the monologuing problem. I think he's just going to break down crying in a heap.
I think that's a little presumptuous there. Maniacal villain, not depressed. This is not an angsty villain. This is not a villain.
You need kung fu to bring something like that down.
Three letters usually come before maniacal. It's egomaniacal. I think this guy. I think he's got a monologuing problem because he does a lot of talking, doesn't do a lot of death raying at the end of the day.
Oh, I like this the question from Andy. What if the interrupting the monologue just draws his ire? Like, what if he just gets down to business?
Well, that's why I always have a bag of health potions ready to go for the fight.
All right.
So I do think that this villain has an ego. That's the whole monologuing, maniacal thing. And I'm just going to lean into that. I'm convinced that we're on a reality TV show, and frankly, I believe this wholeheartedly. I'm just going to convince him that we're on a reality TV show. I know where my camera is at all times. I'm showing him where that camera is at all times. This person loves the sound of his own voice, wants attention, and wants to get his word out there. We're going on this reality TV show together. That's yeah. We're just gonna what do you do with a maniacal person? You just feed them to reality TV. The producers are gonna love it.
I hit them in the head with kung fu. That's what I do.
I mean, this is lovely, but I don't think you've defeated the villain as a result.
We've taken him out of circulation, and he's definitely not doing whatever he thought he was doing first. We have whatever thing he thought he was destroying is now all fully consumed about what looks best on TV, and keeps that juice going.
I'm mildly concerned that the villain then gets a glow up and becomes really famous, and so now he can continue on doing his maniacal evil doings, but now is also a star. And now it's going to be a lot harder to defeat him because he has the glowing adorations of millions of TikTok followers.
Yeah, you just gave an egomaniac a camera.
Yep. Yeah, I sure did.
Violence is what's warranted here. We just need someone violent.
Win the fight and lose the war is my concern about that.
You didn't hire me for a war. You hired me for a fight.
Yeah, I'm just going to pantomime some more karate chops in the background. You keep going.
I'm also concerned because it looks like it very much looks like the snake person might just choke to death on the rat.
No. My jaw unhinges. It's good for all kinds of stuff, not just dicks.
Besides, I will point out that the bard is convinced that they're auditioning for a reality TV show. It doesn't necessarily mean it's true. We just need shared delusion here.
Oh, that's true. It's just folly.
Physical harm more than shared delusion.
The check for the show episode is coming next week. I promise.
I wasn't 100% convinced, but after listening to the alternative pitches, I think the martial artist learning from YouTube stands the best chance.
Swimming through just like the shark.
What dark days are this? That the martial artists who learn their powers from YouTube are only shot. Dark days indeed.
Some fight in there. least there's some fighting there. I mean, we ignore the fact that we don't even know if the bard can defeat or fight. He mostly just wants to audition and sing. And the snake man clearly has his hands or non-hands full of rat.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was lying about the rats powering me up. I take like a 6-hour nap once I've had a bunch of this. So I was hoping you weren't gonna call my bluff on that, but seeing as we're already at the point we're at, I'm just gonna go have a nap behind the desk here.
Which we all need, a few day nap.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, what were the final points on everybody then?
I
think
got-
Zach
I got-
won.
I think
Zach
Zach won.
won.
I think
Yeah.
Zach actually literally won a full game of Dungeon Tryouts right now at 3 points.
Yeah.
He hat tricked
It's
it.
my second
Wow.
game ever. My first game was also live streamed and somehow even more unhinged.
Because we were doing the not safe for work one, and we were like,
Convention's
end-
tired, different from Kickstarter tired. Like they're different. They're not. Neither of them is greater or lesser, but they're different kinds of tired.
we were also in a hotel room, and in hotel rooms just as like the place where shenanigans begin and end.
And Alina
Yeah.
was riling us all up.
Yeah,
It's true.
yeah.
Alina's method acting was truly just taking
Yeah.
us to like a whole other level.
Yeah.
There was a
They won, right? They won that, I think.
Yes, they won. They closed
Yep.
out with the Rio.
They deserved it.
yeah, I couldn't remember. At some point, I became a backseat driver and was getting too lost in everything to notice who was actually winning and not winning.
Also, people started swapping in for each other, so it was unclear if you were inheriting that person's points or because you're coming in late. So that's the concession. Yeah.
I think all I remember is Lane specifically say like pitching the skeleton man, and I think he was just like,
Oh.
"I have bones."
I think my feet are bones is the
My
pitch that
feet are
he just kept
And I
saying
lost
that.
to that. That was
Yeah.
nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes your feet are bones is a pretty good argument. There's not a lot of holes in it. Like, there's not a lot of points to attack.
Yeah,
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 that's true.
but to the point.
Brevity.
To the point. Professional. Oh, well, I think we're almost at the end of our time together. If nothing else, because I know Zach is 12, so has the energy of an exuberant adolescent and is
Yeah, his
2 to
time
3
zone's working
hours.
in his favor.
Are you 2 or 3 hours behind us right now, Zach? Eastern
3 hours
time.
behind.
3. I was just
3.
in your time zone, so I'm still feeling like I'm in your time zone. Because I
Ah.
wasn't after Gen Con, I went to see my sibling in Baltimore, and then I flew out to this wedding. So I'm in your time zone in my brain, at least.
Yeah, in the brain, but physically 3 hours behind, so at 9 p.m. But Peter, on the other hand, is slightly into the future at nearly 1:30 a.m.
But
despite
I've been living like I'm living in BC because of the weird late hours I've been keeping. So we've all kind of Freaky Friday.
None of us knows where anything is anymore. And with the power of artificial lighting, it always just looks like daytime. Dana, really appreciate the congrats. Yeah, we have so many stretch goals that we unlocked. Literally, Andy, literally excited. Yeah, Andy, how did you feel every time we unlocked 20 more cards for our main deck?
Yeah, we got to chain Andy back to the desk a little longer
Yeah.
Yeah,
with his penguins.
yeah, we've unlocked the full deck of 500 cards plus all 3 expansions and booster pack. And we have also unlocked all our collector pins. We've unlocked basically
We unlocked almost every
all our
like
accessories, our t-shirts, our pins, our penguins.
Emery.
We've unlocked, did you say we unlocked Emery?
we did.
Yeah, we did.
We did.
I mean, it's true.
we set him free.
Yeah, we did. We kept the Gen Con hotel room for an extra 2 weeks and kept him locked in there until you guys.
That's
hit
where your
the
pledge
goals.
money went, was the Gen Con hotel for an extra 2 weeks.
2 weeks of Gen Con hotel.
That's it. We're out.
I do think that we should have a quest that is like rescue a card game artist who has been locked in a room for, and then however many days it takes Andy to go from the first drawing to the last drawing, and the drawing is just him chained to a desk surrounded by penguin shit and birds. Yeah, that's too
We'll
silly.
make him
to-
draw it like sickos.
Yeah, yeah, like true sickos.
It has to be all like poop emoji style poop though.
But thank you so much to all of our many backers, our 2,717 backers. Thank you, Andy. You are the like aesthetic heart and soul of this project. Truly, I've had your artwork in my head since I started writing these prompts, and it's such a good fit for the style of humor. You've been killing it on the illustrations, and love it. Thank you, Maroki, for steering the ship, keeping us all organized, providing creative as well, and doing the like truly like the what you see on the front of the Kickstarter is like 3% of what's happening at any given moment. There's so much happening in the background constantly. And that is all stuff that Maroki is running very seamlessly. When you notice it, it's because something has finally broken through to the front of house, and that it's very rare that those things break containment because of how on top of everything she is. So Maroki, thank you for continuing to run the 97% of the business that no one sees. Eric, thank you for all of the creative work that you've done on the deck, all of the writing and prompts. And I remember my other pitch for the monologuing villain was going to be a card you wrote. It was a wrestler who only knows how to do choreographed fights, and he was going to cut a promo with the villain. That's one of Eric's prompts. But doing the writing and then doing all the community management and socials for the project, all the proofreading, you constantly having to fix my typos of Sandcob has 2 C's. Also, Zach having to re-export those. Speaking of which, Zach, thank you for directing the animation of the video. Thank you for your guest illustration. Thank you for designing 1 trillion assets, often having to re-export them again because of my typos. Thank you for sending me, Zach sent me a list of cards he thought of on the plane back from Gen Con. And I added those to our big list of like, these. I'll go through these when I'm looking for a new batch to send to Andy. And when Emery signed on and said yes to doing art, I sent Emery a bunch and pulled some and ended up pulling one that Zach had written, which was the cartographer who is more interested in making maps than on dealing with the danger at hand, which turned into like a killer illustration from Emery, which, by the way, you can now find live on the page. If you reload the Dungeon Tryouts page, you'll see the guest illustrations from Zach, from Rob from Side-Eye and Happiness, and from Emery. Those have all been added to the page. Yeah, so thank you, Zach, for all of those things. Thank you to our webcomic and artist collaborators doing the guest cards. Thank you to our guest writers who are going to continue to smash it in the writers' rooms. We've had so much fun coming up with all kinds of wacky and wild prompts, which we'll be starting to get to share with you. Thank you to Alessia and Rachel, who've been helping with customer service things throughout this whole process.
Thank you to Peter for dreaming up this project and bringing it to life, because without you coming up with the ideas that you do and dreaming and showing the world that you can never stop playing no matter how old you are. I was literally like watching there was a Chris Hemsworth documentary, the Limitless one on Disney Plus, where one of the episodes he's talking about wishing that he could still take risks and experience things in the moment and enjoy like the way his children did, and wanting to get a semblance of that. It made me reflect on the things that we get to do with the story engine, and it comes to life because you are willing to take the risk and dream big and keep playing and showing the world that we can never lose touch of our creativity, and we never, should let our imaginations stagnate. And you do, and also doing the incredible amount of work that you also do behind the scenes as well. I think a lot of times when people see, when you talked about what people see in the front, they see the zany videos, they see the things we create. Like, there's a lot of work that goes into that. There's actually a lot of thoughtfulness, a lot of a lot of back and forths to do the things that they do. Whether it's Story Engine, whether it's Dungeon Tryouts, we don't just throw jokes on a page and then just publish some cards and there we go. There is just so much incredible work that goes in the writer's room that you lead to, drive and bring them together into, a cohesive force that is Dungeon Tryouts. So leading the writers' rooms behind the scenes, doing, directing the art, bringing the artists together. Thank you for making these dreams come true for everyone.
Yeah, thank you. I've had so much fun working on this project. Everyone's been such a joy to work with. Speaking of which, I wanted to add a shout out to Homesick Mountain Arts, the animator who did the animation for the Kickstarter video. Came out sick, was so good, and worked with us on a tight timeline. And then also Nicole Amato at Kickstarter. Nicole gave us a lot of advice heading into this Kickstarter. It was our first time back on Kickstarter since Deck of Worlds in 2021. And she had a lot of really helpful advice for navigating the new changes to the platform. And it's been really connected with us on like learning about what kind of features we're looking for from crowdfunding and other aspects of the Kickstarter platform. So it was really cool to have her backing this project in a really helpful way as well.
Yeah, and shout out to our team at BackerKid, who's obviously going to who took a bit of a backseat during the campaign, although really helping us on the marketing side and the launch side of things, but definitely will be a big force alongside us as we launch Pledge Manager in a few months, because that tool is such a powerful tool and kind of really streamlining the process for all of you backers, making sure all the information is taken care of and logged properly, making sure all your addresses are properly adjusted, making it easy for backers to enter the information and make changes. I think without such a seamless tool, I think the entire crowdfunding industry would be a much more messy place to be in.
Yeah, we've used AcroKit for the Pledge Manager for like the last 6 projects, and it does what it does. It does it really well. And speaking of which, we will share an update soon with a thank you and with what you need to know about what's going to happen over the next few weeks. So that'll be coming shortly, like probably in the next 12 to 24 hours. And until then, I think just a big thank you from all of us here at the team. Thank you.
Thank you.
And
cheers to everyone.
Yeah.
We'll see you all again very
Cheers.
soon.
Here's also my water bottle. Cheers. We'll see you all soon. We'll see you in the next one.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.